Spellbound is a femtastical actual play D&D podcast. It follows the adventures of Princess Theia, the human sorceress played by Lydia.r.miller.
I want to feel powerful, and I also would like my hair to not be in my face.
Delaelia, the elven ranger played by Kelsea.
We're always a little bit horse girls, even if we're not really horse girls.
Feliks, the gnome fighter played by Rebecca Munoz.
Lucky for you, I happen to be a professional adventurer.
And me, your dungeon master, Emma Carter. Welcome back, listeners. I am recording this on Friday, November 6th, 2020. I was hoping that if I waited to record this intro until the day before this episode goes live, I might be able to do so with the knowledge of who won the American presidential election. And as of right now, at 10:55 a.m., we don't yet know for sure. Votes are still being counted because every vote counts. But it's looking good, knock on wood, that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will win this election, which is what I'm hoping for, what we're all hoping for here on Spellbound. I honestly don't know if our country can survive another 4 years of Trump. And I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to be extreme here. I literally, I feel like the seams of our democracy have been eroding. And I am really, really hoping that we can have this one win. If there's one good thing to come out of 2020, I hope it's that we can get that awful person out of the White House. So if you were able to vote blue this year, whether by mail, absentee, or in person, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We recorded this episode a couple months ago, so we're going to start off with a little discussion about weight stigma, body positivity. If that's a conversation that you don't really want to hang out for, you can go ahead and just skip to about 7 minutes and 50 seconds into the podcast. When we last left our heroes, Theia was enjoying a well-earned bath with her new friend Priya, the elven jeweler. Feliks and Delaelia discovered, while visiting the armory, that Delaelia's ring of the hunt was concealing a trick or two. What other secrets might our heroes discover enjoying all that Afonydheuoedd has to offer? Let's find out. I will see you in the story.
Because sometimes there's so much, oh my gosh, there's body positive, there's body neutral, there's a fat positive, there's so many different facets to that movement, and sometimes larger bodies get left out. You know what I mean? There's a lot of areas where it's yeah, I love your body, to an extent, and then anyone over a certain weight, it's oh, but you need to lose weight,
Right.
you know?
I kind of wanted to do this one with the, I've been trying to draw them with, tummies.
Yeah.
And the back sploosh.
I like that.
Yeah.
Squish.
Squish.
Yeah, because I think that's something that's really just irritating to me, because my body, which is smaller than average, is considered that's okay. We're okay with that. And it's yeah, what? But then it's anything bigger is atrocious and upsetting, you know? And it's no, but I'm not even, first of all, ouch, but then not ouch because thank you, but also what?
But also fuck you?
Yeah, what the hell?
Because then the implication is if you were to gain weight, it wouldn't be okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're good. You should stay there.
You're fine.
You should never change. Your body should never change.
Oh, yeah. And can you imagine? Jeez Louise.
Yeah, no. It's just one of those things where there are times where I try to lose weight, but this is just not the time where I'm trying to do that. And so I was oh, now I lose weight. Okay.
Right? Losing weight is something that happens when we get sick. And it's someone who didn't know what was going on in your life might be oh, Becca, you're looking so good. And then you're thanks, I'm sick.
I'm sick, and this is evidence of it.
Yeah, I feel like my cheekbones are getting more defined, which is nice.
Yeah, I have several good friends who deal with chronic illnesses, and that's one of the things that all of them have said is that people comment on it when you lose weight, and it's usually like, "Wow, you look great," and they're like, "I'm literally dying." Like,
Yeah,
fuck off.
I'm not great right now. This is not
Yeah.
on purpose.
This is not this is not intentional. Mhm.
Yeah, no. And it's funny because like I had just recently come to the acceptance of my weight. The whole because on a year like when I was in high school, I was like 125 pounds, and I was like, man, fantastic. And now I'm like, oh, I'm older, and no.
I love it when we see Sebastian. I love it when he makes an appearance.
It freaked me out because I thought for some reason, my mind told me he was in mine, and I was like,
I had that happen to me before too, Kelsea. I
What
thought
the
the
hell?
same thing where I thought I was looking at. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
"Oh, I don't even know. I can't justify why I thought that, but
Oh.
I'm glad we're on the same page."
But yeah, I feel like for a long time I was trying to chase that 125. Like I was like, that's where I'm supposed to be. That's when I was young and thin and pretty, and that's where I should be.
That's so little.
Girl,
And-
same. That's the same weight that I tried to chase for a long time.
Yeah, and then like in the past few
That
years,
was before you guys were women, like real
Exactly.
adult women.
I was
Exactly.
93 pounds when I got to
Holy
Sears College.
shit.
Baby girl.
I was not trying. That was my metabolism. I am not. I've got to be maybe 140 now. I don't
Mhm.
know. But like all of that happened after I turned 23, and so it's been like a massive change, and I'm getting used to it. Like I'm getting to a point where I'm seeing my curves as something that is powerful and you know, a symbol of my womanhood. But like going
Yeah.
from 93 pounds to this
Yeah.
was
Mhm.
huge.
You have such a soft, beautiful body. Like it's
Aw.
so like
Thank you.
velvety and pretty.
Mhm.
Thanks, guys. You
And-
too.
And you wear cute outfits that flatter your body.
Yes.
Like that's the hard part is learning how to redress yourself when you gain
Yes.
That's
weight.
true.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
when you figure it out, you feel good again.
I
Right.
know. Well, and that's why like I was talking about like so I used to wear baby doll dresses. Like that was like the thing. Which is why like so the top that you're wearing is something that like I would have worn when I was younger, and now I just don't feel pretty in it. Like it looks really good on you.
I'm not even wearing a bra. I don't wear a bra with this outfit.
Are you
Yes, girl.
serious?
You both have just like pink little, and they're not even like tiny. They're like sizable pink breasts.
They're like peaches.
Mhm.
They're like a peach.
Yeah, I'll take it.
They're like peaches.
Yeah.
I assume that Rebecca is much like mine in that that's not how it is.
Lydia, your boobs do look really good in that dress.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Really good.
It's very flattering.
Accentuated.
All about the straps.
I want to get a dress like that. Oh my god. Lydia,
Can
you have to
afford.
go to Retro Vixen. You have to go there. They have little jumpers like that, like stuff that would look so cute on you.
Aw. Are we still naked and wet in a unfortunately unsexy way?
You are. I'm gonna say that you've had some time to wash your hair. You've had some time to just like do all of the washing. And as you've been talking, as you've been washing, you've continued to talk. Let me jump back to my Theia place. And Priya has told you more about her life. You were asking about her life. She talks about how she met Baron through her love of jewelry and his
Aw.
love of wearing jewelry.
Aw.
She tells you that Asher and Baron are the oldest in the relationship. Asher, actually, she tells you that she and Baron are actually pretty close in age, and that Asher is a couple hundred years older.
Intimidating.
Yeah. She explains that there used to be sort of a rivalry between Asher and Baron, and somewhere along the way, that rivalry turned into love. And she explains that Asher is one of the few. I should just be the. So she says Asher is really one of the few people who can call Baron out on his shit. Baron makes a big show of acting like a hotshot, and he can be quite dramatic, but he has a softer side. He just doesn't like to show it around the others. But he'll show it around me.
Sounds like you guys are really, really close. I mean, I guess you would have to be being partners. I don't know why I said that. It seems like a cool thing you have there.
Do you have a partner?
Me? No. I mean, no. that hasn't been part of my life so far. Being a princess, you don't really get to pick your partner, so I just kind of never did. Plus, they kept trying to set me up with dudes, and I just don't really want anything to do with that. I mean, there was this guy, this other prince that, I mean, he was sweet, and my dad was trying to marry me off to him. Honestly, I think he was just trying to get rid of me, but it wasn't, I mean, we weren't in love or anything. We talked for 2 seconds. So, anyway, short answer to that question, no partner, nothing. But that's okay. You know, I've always been pretty solitary, and you know, it just gives you more time to get to know yourself.
She smiles and she says, yeah, that's right. And hey, you don't have to be with anyone you don't want to be with.
Hmm.
How old are you anyway? Oh, princess.
I'm 16 years old.
What? And she just like looks at you like flabbergasted.
What?
She says, oh my gosh, you're a baby. And she pulls back the privacy curtain and she's just like hands on her cheeks, like eyes like stars. You were just a baby.
Yeah, I guess I kind of would be to someone like you.
Is that why you're so short?
Oh, no, this was an accident. I was meditating and then magic happened and now I'm very small. I would kind of like not to be quite this small, but also like I got these clothes that were hand tailored to me by Theia, and I don't know what's going to happen if I grow, 'cause I don't think the clothes will grow with me. So now I'm just kind of small.
I think it's cute.
Thanks. Theia's pink.
All right, I don't know about you, but I am done.
Yeah, I'm getting pretty pruny. So guess I'll just put up the screen and get changed.
And you do, and she does as well. You have your towels, and you're able to put your hair up in a towel if you want to as well. There's little slippers also that have been left by the side of the tub so that you can walk around without having to have your bare feet on the floor. Yeah, you are able to change back into your clothes. And you go out into, I said that she was handed a key earlier. She used that key to get into the room, just so in case anyone was wondering why she was given a key. It was a locked room and she got into it because that's how this spa works.
This is nice.
I decided.
There's privacy.
That's what I wanted. And so, she takes the key back to the front desk. And while you two are standing there, she pulls out her coin purse to pay. And she hands over Theia. Actually, Theia, make a perception check for me.
Was I perceptive? I was! I perceived things. What did I perceive?
You perceive that she hands over 40 silver, so she's paying for your bath.
Oh, thank you. I didn't even think about it. Oh my gosh. I haven't really had to use money before. That's a lot of money. How can I repay you?
Oh, it's not that much money.
It isn't?
She says, and then she smiles and she's like, "You're such a princess."
Thanks.
And as she's saying that, another elf that you haven't met yet comes out, and they are holding a little bowl filled with water, and inside you see Dashing in his little bunny bath.
Okay, even I think that's cute.
Is he like this? Or is he like this?
He's like on his little bunny back floating.
Yes.
His ears are outside of the bowl so that they don't get wet because that's uncomfortable for him.
I don't want to.
He's so
I don't want to interrupt that.
They bring him as if they say, "We have brought your Prince Dashing
Yeah, isn't that a cute name for a rabbit?
Yeah, yes. Yes, here. And Dashing is like, I'm not done yet.
Too bad.
And the person who's holding him is like, oh, this bunny's talking. I'm just gonna set it down and walk away. Like they're giving you like oh, she's weird. This is weird. I'm gonna go.
I'm used to that, so.
And the person the elf who checked you in says, I hope you enjoyed your baths. And Priya, remembering Dashing, puts another 10 silver down on the table. And the elf nods. And then Priya puts another 10 silver down, and the elf smiles a little bit. And they take that and they pocket it as their tip.
Thank you so much for your generosity. I wish I had some way to pay you back. I didn't grab any money before I go. I mean, princesses don't really use money. I don't know how to thank you.
Well, and she leans in with a mischievous look in her eye.
Oh.
I think I know a way you can pay me back.
Oh. Yeah? What would that be?
It's a surprise. And she takes your hand, and and you are handed a bundle of bunny and a towel that is Dashing. He's in a little bunny bundle. And Priya takes you out the door and marches you back towards the apartment, towards the condo.
Theia is very confused. There are so many signals and none of them make sense.
And I know this was short, but we're going to whoop back over to Delaelia and Feliks.
Hello, Father.
Kelsea, would you describe your father, Delaelia's father, and say his name for the audience?
Oh boy, I have to name him.
It was Lyral, I think. I just want to make sure I was pronouncing it right, because that was what was in your original file. Lyral?
Yes.
Lyral.
Like lyric. That's right. Yeah.
Lyral.
Lyral is he has darker coppery skin, and his hair is not really, it's barely graying yet, and so it's just sort of like a darker, like really really dark brown with a couple little salt and peppers in it, and he wears it long but tied back in the back of the nape of his neck with like just like a sensible situation. And he's dressed like he like in sort of the kind of, what is it called, a Mandarin collar with like an ivory suit that's very sensible, clean, and buttons down it. Looks really like uber modern but ancient at the same time. Really clean, smart looking gentleman, and he's wearing sort of like moccasin-y kind of shoes, so just like the kind of slippery. They don't have like a big boot sole or anything like that.
And he sees you, Delaelia. He's standing in the archway and he is looking at you, and he raises a hand and he says, "Hello, Laylee."
And Delaelia had like a really serious, like not excited to see him, just like, "Sir," face on. And then whenever he said hello to her, she just sort of like runs up to him and embraces him.
Oh, I'm dying.
I know.
And he puts his arms around you and he embraces you and holds you for a moment. And you hear him say softly, "We've missed you."
"I've missed you too, Father."
And he hugs you.
And Delaelia awkwardly like stands up and like dabs at her nose a little bit, and then looks like she forgot herself and is just like, oh, this is my friend Feliks. This is my father, Lyral."
"Hi, it's a pleasure to meet you." And like Feliks just kind of like just walks up and puts out his hand, like, you know, he's like, this is a great moment for me. And like he's still got like the little burns on his face, like a couple of burns. So he doesn't exactly look the greatest right now, but he's like, I'm not losing this moment. Hi.
And Leroy bows, kind of bends over so that he can better shake Felix's hand, and bows to Felix, and he says, It's a pleasure to meet you, Felix. It's wonderful to meet a friend of Delaelia's.
We are traveling together.
I've got to say, you have raised a very impressive daughter. Like, she is so talented and so strong, and she's it's truly an honor to meet somebody who helped raise her.
Felix. Delaelia gets teary-eyed from that.
And Leroy smiles, and just like a slight curve. And Felix and Delaelia, he has kind eyes. I think that of his features, like that is probably one of the softer parts of his being. He has kind eyes, and he smiles, and he looks at Delaelia, and he says, I know, but thank you.
How have things been here for you, Father?
Things have been well. We've missed you, as I said, and we've hoped you would return, but I am well, and your mother is well. Were you coming to purchase anything for your journey? Do you need me to? And he reaches for his pouch.
No, we've got everything we need. We actually have acquired some things that we're fine. But thank you.
Okay. And he reaches into his pouch anyway, like parents do, and he pulls out a handful of gold pieces, Delaelia, and he hands them to you anyway.
And I take them and I say, thank you. These might come in handy later. How many was it? I'll put it in my bag.
I'll say 10.
That's nice.
He just like grabbed a handful.
It's not exorbitant. It's just...
Actually, you know what he does? He just takes his pouch and he hands it to you, and it has 10 gold in it. He doesn't need to carry more than 10 gold around his own freaking city. I don't know.
Yeah.
If he wants to buy something, he'll get his money and they'll go to the market. Anyway, and he's just looking at you, Delaelia, just looking at you lovingly, and he says, I would love to hear all about the adventure you've been undertaking. Would you want to join your mother and I for dinner this evening?
Is Felix welcome to come?
Of course. Your friend is welcome.
He's an essential part of the story.
Any friend of yours is welcome. I know it would make your mother very happy.
And Felix kind of like nudges Delaelia, and he's like, what about Poppy?
We do have another friend that's traveling with us, but Father, she's a human.
Oh. Is she here?
Yes, but nobody knows. I mean, clearly some people know, but we're not flaunting it around, and we'll be on our way. But we honestly do have some questions, and maybe you guys could help.
I see. Well, her presence is not you're not in trouble. And he smiles and he says, but I'm glad you told me so that we can tell your mother together so that she doesn't think you were trying to hide anything.
Yes, but I guess could she come to dinner as well?
Yes, she may.
All right. Excellent.
And he puts both of his hands on your shoulders, Delaelia, and he looks at you the way dads look at their baby girls when their baby girls grow up and they're like finally seeing how their baby girls have grown up, and he just can't stop looking at you. And Felix, you kind of get the feeling that maybe it might be good to give them like a private moment.
Yeah.
And like slip aside for a second.
Yeah, Felix is he's gonna slip outside. He's just gonna kind of sidle around this sweetness and wait outside.
Awesome.
And Delaelia
Sorry,
is
I'm
really
just-
surprised because she doesn't feel embarrassed. She doesn't feel like she's doing anything wrong, and she doesn't feel like she has anything to lose. And this is the first time she's ever felt that way. Like when she's with her people and with her family, she's just doing her thing and it doesn't feel wrong. It doesn't feel like she should be apologetic.
And your father, the hands on your shoulders slide down to hold your hands. And that's when he notices that did you ever put your glove back on after you took it off? That's when he notices that he notices that there's a little bit of a glow coming from underneath your palm, and he flips your hand over and sees the center of your palm is glowing. And Syed hadn't noticed this before, but you can see now that like when it's flipped over, you can better see that your fingers, like down to the mid part of your fingers, are that green foresty textured. They have that green foresty texture.
Like to the second knuckle?
Yeah, to the second knuckle now. It's been growing down.
Oh.
And he looks at your hand and then looks back up at you, and you can see concern in his eyes, and he says, "It seems you might also have some explaining to do."
Like I say, we might need some help.
Are you in trouble?
No, I think I'm part of the solution.
And he nods and he says, he looks away for a moment, he looks back at you and he says, "We were really hoping that you would come home. And we're glad you're home."
I guess I am too. I'm sorry I was gone, but I'm proud of myself.
And he nods and he says, "And I'm assuming that you'll be staying for a while?"
Unfortunately, we have to leave soon, or this won't get any better.
"Are you sick?" And now he looks like genuinely concerned and he says, "Do you need me to take you to a healer? Who's done this to you?"
Well, let's talk about it at supper in privacy.
And he nods. And he leans in, Delaelia, and he says, "Make sure to be discreet with your human friend.
We will.
We don't want her seeing, you know."
I do. Luckily, we've left her with Baron, so she'll come out looking just like everybody else.
And he smiles. He smiles. He says, "Ah, yes, Baron. Well," and he lets you go and says, "We'll see you at dinner."
Would you like me to bring anything? I think that's like when you're the most adult, when you're like, I would like to provide something at this meal.
"Just bring your friends and don't be late."
I will see you at eventide. I just made up a time.
And he smiles wider because he knows you just made up a time to try and sound like an adult. And he says, "I will see you at eventide." And he leans forward and he brushes his lips across your forehead in a very brief but tender gesture.
Yep.
And he departs. But while that was happening, we're gonna shift over to. We're gonna look at Lydia's squishy fairy.
Yeah.
Does she look like a
Where's her
person?
squishy mermaid?
Can you tell?
She
She
does look like
she's
a
swimming
person.
up.
Uh-huh.
Okay, cool.
I love it.
I just needed feedback. I'm insecure. It's fine.
No, it's beautiful. You're beautiful.
Oh.
So we're gonna switch over to Felix. So while Delaelia and Lyril are having this moment, Felix. Okay, so Felix, you step out of the armory and you kind of wander a little bit. The armory is a little bit towards the edge of the more metropolitan parts of the city. And so very close by, you actually see something that might make you feel more at home. You see like an open pasture. You see an area where there's just like a big open grassy field close by. And so I think you wander that direction. And as you're wandering that direction, you're heading towards it, kind of walking down this street, heading towards what you see in the distance, in the close distance to be like a grassy pasture. And you see a small figure, a little bit smaller than you, run across the street in front of you, down the street. And it stops for a moment and turns and looks at you. They look at you, and you see a flash of purple eyes. And then they keep running. They keep running towards the field.
Feliks, he just says, "What?" And he goes running after it.
And you run towards this field. You've lost sight of the figure. They just flitted in front of your eyes for a moment, but you saw them. And then as you round the bend, and really you can see this field more clearly now, Feliks, you see that there are creatures in this field. And at first you notice that there are some sheep, and you think, oh, this must be where Baron got the wool for our ears earlier when we were trying to protect ourselves from the mandrake. You see some sheep. But then you notice there are actually some other figures in this field too. They're a little further away. And as you as you look into the pasture, it's really more like a glen, because like you're in a forest, but it's like this big open area where all the trees have been cleared out. You see what you see, Feliks, and at first you don't believe your eyes. You blink, and then you blink again, and nothing changes. Feliks, you see before you, calmly grazing in a large, lush glen, a herd or perhaps a flock of hooved, winged beasts. You see tall, muscular, elegant bodies in ivory, obsidian, chocolate, and some in more unexpected colors, a slight tint of blue, pink, or purple. Long, glistening manes and of course, large, feathery, swan-like wings. Feliks, you are staring at a flock of pegasi.
Oh my gosh! Like, this does that too. Oh my gosh!
I can't get over the cat butt that we're experiencing while you're describing these beautiful, beautiful beasts.
Need a censor bar for that.
She's indecent. Doesn't even realize her asshole's exposed.
Naughty girl.
Naughty
girl.
So Feliks, you are staring at a flock of pegasi. This is certainly something you've never seen before. Even within this fantastical world, pegasi are incredibly rare, endangered, and in many places believed to have been extinct or entirely mythological. Yet here they stand before you.
Can Feliks try and kind of get closer to look at them? Okay. So
there's a little fence, but it would be very easy for someone of your size just to like pop through the middle section.
Okay, so Feliks is gonna pop through the middle section, and he's gonna try and see if he can maybe get closer to one of them that looks a little less stompy.
So as you kind of have to push some sheep aside because they're all there kind of like, hey. He's gonna kind of push the sheep out of the way. And you're kind of caught up in this herd of sheep as you're pushing them out of the way. And as you push the last one aside, you're closer to the Pegasi now, Feliks, and you see a dappled gray Pegasus. It shakes out its silvery mane and flaps its glorious wings, and the force of its wings, it pushes your hair, it creates a breeze, and it dances across your face.
And Feliks catches his hat before it flies away.
Yes, I was gonna say the feather on the hat is waving in the breeze. You also see a creamy chestnut Pegasus with a strip of white down their face, and as it flicks away a dragonfly from its glossy hide. You even see one with a coat of pure white, but the mane shimmers violet. All of them look to be incredibly well cared for. Their manes are either free-flowing and satiny or braided and decorated with flowers, ribbons, and jewelry.
Oh my gosh. Like my inner horse girl is so happy right now. I was never a horse girl, but I was a Pegasus girl.
We're always a little bit horse girls, even if we're not
in
really
the
horse
play
girls.
Horse Girls that Stevens mentioned?
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
I was a horse girl for a time. I learned how to ride horses, and I spent a week of one summer taking care of a horse named Bear. I mucked out his stall. I cleaned his fucking scrotum, and he was my companion. I know, it was kind of fucked up that they made us do that, but
Yeah.
I took
Was
care of
it
him.
the Girl Scout camp that had horses? Was that what it was?
It was just a random woman who had a barn and taught lessons in Fulton. And so I don't know if it was like accredited, but my neighbor took lessons there. And so I went horse riding there, and looking at pictures of Pegasi today was like,
You were feeling it.
I was like, oh my God, horses are the most beautiful creatures in the world.
Why don't they have wings? Like you look at it and you're like, yes, this makes sense. Why not?
They're missing one
Why
thing.
not?
Yeah.
Remember cleaning out horse scrotums and it all dies.
Put that on your resume.
I should.
Everybody has a scrotum, Lydia, right?
I'm pretty
It's okay
gay, so...
to have a scrotum. Your scrotums, boys who are listening, your scrotums are beautiful, and you are
People who are
beautiful.
listening.
People with scrotum.
People with
scrotums.
scrotums who are beautiful.
Yeah. I will say I would not say nay to a queer scrotum.
Can Feliks try and like pet one of them? Like he's gonna try and.
Yeah.
Bold. You're bold.
He's just so enchanted. He's like a little kid. It's like he's books about, he's read stories about heroes writing these things, and like he never thought he was gonna see one. He thought they were extinct, and there's a whole herd of them. He wants to pet them.
Make an animal handling check, and I described 3 of them. Is there a specific one you want to try to pet?
Can he try and pet the creamy chestnut one?
Yeah. Make an animal handling check, please.
One, Felix.
This is gonna end poorly. I know it. It did. It's a 6.
Oh no!
I knew it. So Felix, do you want to describe what you think happens?
Yeah. So, Feliks, he's kind of he's looking at them, and he's kind of close to the chestnut one, so he kind of starts to like slowly approach it, but it's not like a goat. So it's you have to move slower with horses. I do know that. Like I've dealt with some horses in my life, and so I'm like, you can't just walk up to them like a goat. But he's gonna try and pet it, and it just kind of like just flaps its wings and then just like trots away. Like it's just like, oh no, don't touch me, and like just moves away from him.
How dare you?
Yeah.
At least it didn't gore you with its horn. It's canon now. They have horns.
No, they're not unicorns. They're Pegasi. Different creatures. Different
Like, Kelsey, you
creatures.
can't just invent that they have horns.
Because there are unicorns in this world, but they're different. They're different.
We need to get a unicorn.
Ew.
So Felix, you try to pet the chestnut Pegasi, and you're right. It does kind of just trot away, like, oh no, don't touch me. And as it trots away,
No, thank you.
as it trots away, you hear a soft sound. What's your passive perception, Felix?
Passive is 10.
So you hear a soft sound. You're not even really sure what it is. It sounds kind of like a whining, maybe. And it's coming from close by, but you don't see anything. What do you do?
He's gonna try and find what exactly the noise is, because he did see purple eyes earlier, so that's still kind of on his mind. So he's gonna look around. Should I make a perception or
Make an investigation. Yeah.
Wow, that's another 6. I'm doing poorly.
So Felix, I think that you hear this sound and you're walking around trying to figure out where it's coming from, but those dang sheep come back and they're just like, bang,
It smells
they're
like
bang. and they make it hard to hear. They make it hard to hear. So you kind of wander around in circles for a little bit, looking for the source of this sound. And I think actually find like a sheep bumps into you and you fall you don't like fall face first or anything, but like you fall and you catch yourself on your hands and your knees. And while you're on the ground, when you look up, you see a small form huddled in a ball, about 10 feet ahead of you.
He's gonna try and he's gonna lean forward, try and see what it is.
It looks like a child.
Felix just kind of clears his throat a little bit, and he's like, hello? What are you doing down here?
And now that you register what you're looking at, who you're looking at, you realize the sound you heard was crying. This child is curled up in a ball. They have their face into their knees, and they're crying softly.
Don't cry. Hi. My name's Felix. What's your name?
And they look up, and they look scared.
Oh,
and they
don't be scared. Don't be scared. I'm just a friendly little gnome. See, I wear bright, silly colors. I got a big, funny hat.
Can you make I want you to make a check for that. What would be a good check for that?
Probably just charisma?
Yeah. Or, yeah. No, maybe performance?
Yeah, performance, persuasion.
Yeah, performance. Performance or persuasion.
That is a 2, so it's a 4.
Jeez, what are you doing, man?
I don't know. Hang on. Yeah, I'm on normal, so I don't know.
I think so. They're looking at you, Felix, and you're trying to be funny, but they just seem to get a little bit scared by how animated you're being, and they curl up further into themselves, and they kind of pull away from you, and they're looking at you with these big, scared purple eyes, purple irises.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Don't worry. And Felix just kind of sits back, just cross-legged on the ground, just a little bit away. He's kind of trying to push the sheep away from his face while he's talking, and he's just oh, sorry, I'm trying to think. What's your name? I'm Felix.
They don't say anything. They just shake their head.
Okay, that's okay. These horses are really pretty, huh? These Pegasus, I've never seen one before. Which one's your favorite?
And they think for a minute, and they point to the one that has the purple mane.
That's my favorite too. I've never seen one like that before. It's got purple hair, kind of like your eyes. They're very pretty.
And they look at you, Felix, and their finger that was pointing at the Pegasus, it shifts over and it's pointing on the ground now.
And he looks at the ground to see what they might be pointing at.
And you see a little ways away from you, there's a little tiny object on the ground. Roll a perception check.
It's a 6. Jeez, Christmas.
Mark at the beast over here. Good grief.
I know. What did I do? This is because I let someone else hold my sword.
That's true.
Title of your sex tape?
Sex tape. There it is.
There it is. And you can't tell what it is, but you see that there's an object on the ground, and it seems to be close to one of the Pegasi. You see a Pegasi with a cool, smooth black coat that seems to ripple in the light of the sun, with white stocking markings on their legs, as well as a blaze of white down their face and a splash of white across their chest. Her mane and tail are also white and flowing freely in little waves, and she is standing like basically on top of whatever object this is on the ground. And the little child is just pointing, and then they go back to hugging their legs to their chest.
Okay. Does that belong to you? Did you drop something over there?
They nod.
Yeah. Okay. Is that mean horse keeping you from getting it?
They nod more vigorously.
Okay. Well, lucky for you, I happen to be a professional adventurer. And I think with a little bit of luck, we can get this thing back, whatever it is.
Felix just like beheads the horse. Just does it.
Traumatized child even more.
Yeah.
And so Felix is going to. So first thing he's going to do is Felix is going to do minor illusion, and he's going to make a very small purple butterfly.
Aww.
And he's just going to let it flitter around the crying child. And he's like, okay, you just keep an eye on my butterfly friend here, and I will go get the thing.
He's such a good dentist.
And so he starts like moving towards the black Pegasus, but he's going to kind of try and like stay a little bit out of its eye view so he doesn't spook it until he can see what exactly it is he's trying to get.
All right. So make a stealth check for me, Felix.
I don't want to. I've been rolling so bad.
That's all right. Yeah.
That's a 20. It's a dirty 20, but it's a 20.
Yay!
The good news, you don't have to Kool-Aid man into the scene now. You can actually try to stealth in.
So Felix, I'll let you describe what you think happens, but I will let you know that when you make that minor illusion purple butterfly, the child looks at it and they're not crying anymore, and they reach out a hand, and the little illusion of the butterfly lands on the tip of their finger, and they smile a little bit, and they look back at you and they smile.
Yay, that makes me so happy. Felix gives them a very encouraging wink and then starts making his way towards the horse, the Pegasi, to get whatever it is. Should I roll a perception again to see what exactly I'm trying to grab here? Because I don't know how big this thing is. Like, what exactly it is I'm trying to grab.
Roll an investigation, since now you're looking at something specifically and trying to figure out what it is.
That's a 6. I'm sorry. It's dumb.
It's hard. It's hard to tell what it is because it's very small and it looks like it's dirty, like it's gotten some dirt on it. I will say, as you approach, you are like, none of the Pegasi seem to bat an eyelash or bat a tail as you approach. You're able to move swiftly through them without getting stomped on or without having any of them freak out. And as you approach, you notice that there is also is it foal? Is that how you say foal for the baby horse?
Yeah, foal.
You see close beside this black and white horse is what you assume is her foal, for they look very similar. Only this foal's mane is shorter and and this foal has a particularly cute diamond marking on its rump.
Oh, that's adorable. But oh no, that's a mama. Felix knows that any sort of animal, big or small, if it's a mama, that's the problem. So he's going to try and be very careful to get this little toy back, this little whatever.
Awesome. What is his plan of action?
I think what Felix is going to do is he's going to draw his shield, and he's going to kind of put it in front of him because it's a reflective surface. So the horse doesn't exactly see him. I mean, the size of this shield, it doesn't completely obstruct him, but it obstructs him enough. And he's going to just kind of shuffle slowly forward and try to stay out of the way of its hooves. And he's going to try and reach around the shield to grab it.
I want you. Oh my gosh, this is. I'm not sure what to have you roll. I'm not sure if that should be stealth. Well, you rolled a really high stealth roll, so actually, what I'll say is that that stealth roll carries over.
Okay.
So you are.
Would that be like a sleight of hand, maybe?
Yes, sleight of hand for grabbing whatever's on the ground. You are able to stealth your way over. I think the foal sees the shield for a moment and goes up and looks at it and sniffs, and then kind of at its own reflection, and it seems delighted at seeing its own reflection.
And like Felix is just gonna freeze until it goes away because he's like, "Do not move. That thing will hit me so far."
Eventually, it something. I think that dragonfly that was flying around earlier flies by, and the foal goes off to chase it.
Okay, and so he's gonna try the sleight of hand to grab at the boy. I think I ticketed it. There we go. 21. That's a 21.
Describe what happens, Felix.
So once the foal scurries off after the dragonfly, Felix keeps making his way forward, and he's like almost underneath the mama horse, and he like just reaches out and just like quick as lightning just grabs whatever it was. He also got like some dirt and rocks in there too, and he just kind of turns and runs and just bolts out from under it because he's like right underneath it, so it can't see him, and so he just takes back off and heads back towards the kid.
Nice. And you were able to do that, Felix. You run back towards the child, and they're sitting exactly where you left them. They are no longer huddled. They are now sitting cross-legged on the ground too, and they have their hands out in front of them with their palms up, and the little purple butterfly is sitting in the palm of their hand.
Aww.
And they look up
like
as you approach.
Felix comes and like kneels down like in front of the kid, and he puts out his hand for the butterfly, and it comes back to his hand, and he just kind of looks at it for a second, and then like holds it up, and he's like, "It matches your eyes." He's like, he's like, people with purple eyes are always the best. And he, with a wave of his hand, it goes away, and he opens his other hand and presents the toy.
And you're right, it is a toy. It's a little cloth doll, Felix. And
it's a doll.
Very, very simple. Very, very simple. Kind of like Kelsea's character in Childish Things. It's a very simple cloth doll. Yes. It has two little eyes, but it doesn't really have any other distinguishing features. A little bit of what looks like horsehair or pegasi hair for its head. And the child takes it, and they beam at it, and they hold it close to their chest as they hug it. And then they look back at you, Felix, and they just smile at you.
I'm glad you got that back. Where's your parents, by the way? I think maybe we should get out of here. Might not be the best place for small folk like us.
And they say, "You weren't afraid."
No, I wasn't. Okay, I was terrified. But the point of being brave is doing something even when you're scared of it.
Can you do that, Felix?
Maybe. Sure. Yeah, I can do that.
What if you were very, very afraid?
Well, I guess then I'd that's when you look for friends who can help you.
And they smile, and they reach up, and they kiss your cheek.
All right, let's get out of here.
And their eyes go down to where your sword hangs at your side, and their smile disappears. And from behind you, Felix, you hear a very familiar meh.
He turns around. Is it Ramsey?
It's Ramsey.
Ramsels.
Ramsey
Ramsey is he's found his way to this pasture full of grass to eat and all these other farm animals that he can hang out with. And he's trotting through, and some sheep kind of give him a side eye, like these fancy elven sheep give him a look as he passes through. And Felix, then you turn back to the child, and they're not there.
Mm-hmm. That shit's not real.
He just kind of looks around for a second, and he just kind of brushes himself off, and just just looks at Ramsey, and he's just like,
the second that MF first spoke, I was like, no, you are creepy. You are probably Zephyr or whatever, or Delaelia, whatever you are. Zendaya, that's right.
That's like Zephyra.
oh my god, yes. And Felix just kind of pets Ramsey for a few minutes.
Is Zendaya not as bad as we think they are?
Hello, listeners. This is your DM, Emma Carter here. As always, I'd like to take a moment to thank you, the listeners, for pressing play, especially with everything that's going on in the world. Pandemic, election, all that. If you're listening to this episode, I hope it's allowed you a moment of relaxation, or release, or even just distraction from the general anxiety I'm pretty sure most of us feel just from existing in the world right now. If this episode or this podcast in general has impacted your life for the better, consider sharing Spellbound with a friend. Post it to your story. Tag a friend on our Facebook page. Hey, you could even just retweet the post sharing this episode on Twitter. If you share the podcast on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram and tag us or hashtag the Spellpod, I'll put your name on my NPC naming list. It's important that you tag us or use the hashtag so we see it. So gently caress that share button if you too want to become part of our femtastical Spellbound universe. If you'd like to communicate with us, maybe to ask a question or talk about the latest episode, please reach out. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at The Spellpod. Now, let's get back to our heroes.
And as Felix ponders with Ramsey, I think that's about the time Delaelia finds him. Because Felix has been missing for like 5 minutes, Delaelia.
And Delaelia sees Felix in the Pegasus paddock, and she's like, oh, fuck. And is like, Felix, like trying not to call out too much. Shh. And is like motioning furiously at Felix.
okay, and like he crawls out from under the fence, and Ramsey follows after him. You have Pegasus?
We do, and it's a secret. So pretend you didn't see them. Try not to tell anyone outside of here. You can say you saw Pegasi. I don't care. Just don't say they're here, and don't let anyone know you were in there. That's like our whole thing. Like that's a big.
Oh, yeah. Okay. No, my lips are sealed. So sorry.
But look, it's fine. Seems that no one's around for some reason. We got really lucky. So we're good. We're good. Water under the bridge.
Never mind. Let's go. And Felix just starts walking away.
Okay. Cool.
And are you guys going back to the condo?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now we'll flip over to Theia and Priya. Made it back to the condo. Theia and Priya, the best friends. gonna do some fun stuff together.
Slippery, heavy breasts, floating in water.
One of them is way more into the other.
You guys, you're my favorite. I love all of you. So, Theia and Priya return to the condo where Baron stands, still stirring his concoctions. It smells very good, Theia. Describe what would smell wonderful to Theia.
Eucalyptus. And vanilla wouldn't go with eucalyptus, would it?
I think it sounds interesting.
Maybe rosemary instead. Eucalyptus and rosemary.
That's what it smells like when you walk into the condo. And Baron seems different now. Oh, that's right. Priya dragged you to the condo because she had ulterior motives. So you get to the condo. You get to the
Damn. They're the good kind?
Well, yeah. She pulls you into the condo, and Baron is standing there with his concoctions that smell like eucalyptus and rosemary. And Priya says, "Oh, that's right. You're supposed to get your hair done. That's okay." And she gestures for you to take a seat with Baron, and she says, "So, can I borrow your brother?"
For what? This is not going the way Thea thought it was going to go.
Excuse me, I'm right here. I would actually like some food. And she says, "I promise it'll be worth it. I want to surprise you, and I'm also a little bit embarrassed, but please.
You'll have to ask his permission. I mean, I trust you." And she's going to look at Dashing and say, "I trust her." And then look back at Priya and say, "But he has to say it's okay." And she's going to look at Dashing like, "Please."
Fine, I guess. Can I have some carrots or some shit? I don't know.
Oh,
I'm a rabbit. I have to eat things, but I don't know if I can eat other animals. Do rabbits eat that? I don't know.
no, they don't. They don't eat. It's fine. I'll get you some carrots. If you give him some carrots, he'll follow you anywhere.
I'll get him some carrots. And she takes Dashing and runs off towards another part of the condo. And Baron says, "Have a seat, princess."
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And Baron seems different now. He seems more focused, more zen. He's radiating the sort of quiet intensity one channels when they are in their natural element.
Aha.
And
Thea's just kind of looking around the apartment like, just trying not to be in the way.
he has you sit in his chair, and with a flourish, he wraps a cape around you to protect your clothes. And he says, "Hair isn't just hair, as I'm sure you're aware. A being's hair is their story. It tells the world who they are, just as much as clothes or jewelry. So tell me, former princess, who are you? What do you want them to see?"
That's a good question. Wow. Sorry, nobody has ever asked me a question like that before. I guess I want to be confident, and I want people to look at me and not see the cursed girl, the girl who messes things up and doesn't know what she's doing. I want them to see somebody who knows what she's doing and can take care of herself and her friends and her stupid rabbit brother. I want to feel powerful, and I also would like my hair to not be in my face because it is kind of a big inconvenience.
And he listens to all of this silently, and he says, "Focus on that."
Oh, okay. Hair part or all of it?
All of it.
Oh, okay.
You've meditated before, correct? I thought I heard
With
you.
varying levels of success.
Well, do your best right now to meditate on who you want to be.
Okay.
And he begins to work on your hair. You can feel him applying these creams that he has mixed together. It feels kind of strange, but there's no mirror in front of you. He's turned you so that you're facing away from the mirror. And actually, you're facing the dining room table, because I kind of imagine that his studio, this is like his home studio / their apartment. So he has a little station, and you're facing the dining room table, and on it you can actually see Lorne is eating some fish off the plate. Someone has gotten some fish for Lorne.
Good Lord.
Maybe it was Baron. I don't know. And as he works on your hair, it's very relaxing. It's kind of like getting a head massage. It's that wonderful feeling that I think we all have, that sensation of when someone is playing with your hair and you can just kind of like zone out a little bit, because it just feels so nice to have someone, at least that's how I feel when anyone ever is doing something with my hair. And yeah, it's very quiet. There's a sense of stillness and peace in the condo. You don't hear Priya and Dashing wherever they are, whatever they're doing. You can just feel Baron working away at your hair. And actually he starts by cutting a little bit with his shears just off the edges. You can hear him, he doesn't mutter anything, but he starts by cutting a little bit, and then he applies some creams. And at some point he asks you to sit and wait, and then he exits. And I think it's about this time that Delaelia and Feliks enter the condo, and Theia is she's sitting in this chair, and you can see her, but she can't see her own reflection. And her hair still looks kind of like damp. So and you, at this point, it just looks kind of damp. You don't see any difference in the color. But you come in, and Thea is sitting in the chair, and she has kind of like damp, clean hair, and she's got her little. She's sitting in the chair, and she's got damp, clean hair, and I think maybe her eyes are closed as she's trying to meditate. And you see Lorne on the table eating some fish.
Yeah, she's meditating.
Oh. And I just to be a dick, I guess, because it's not like Feliks doesn't have the same senses I have. I look at Feliks and I put my finger up to my mouth like, shh, and tiptoe over to Lorne, where I just am like, did you get this duck? Did you get this? Are you happy about it? And I'm just whispering little praises at him for eating his little food and scratching around his head, and I missed him. I did miss him.
Oh my
He's my best
goodness.
friend.
And Feliks finds somewhere to sit, a little bit away from everyone else, and he pulls out his sword, and he's just kind of he's looking at it, like he's kind of investigating it, because he's got some thoughts at the moment.
Cool. Roll an investigation check, I guess.
Never thought about the fact that these presents from this psycho might be a little weird to us.
That was a 13.
So as you're sitting there investigating this sword, you see that it has engraved on the handle a little picture of a fox. Just a little picture of a fox. But as you're holding it and appraising it, you get a feeling, Feliks. You get a feeling, and that voice in your head says, Feliks, I can help you. I can help you find so much treasure. Together we can find so much treasure.
Okay. And Feliks, like, Feliks just kind of looks around the room like, can anybody else hear that? Like,
nope, not even Lorne seems to notice it. And the voice again says, you know you like it, Feliks. You know that you like the power.
And Feliks is just kind of like, we'll talk later. And he just sheathes the sword. That kind of spooked him a little. He was just kind of like, what? Like he just closed it.
I think, Felix, that when you do that, you suddenly, as you're like shutting it away back into the scabbard, you hear it more aggressively whisper, "Do you see that crystal on the table?" And in front of you, there's like just like a quartz crystal, like a raw, like amethyst, like decorative on the table, the dining room table, and it says, "Take it, take it, Felix, take it."
Don't need that. Do I roll
a wisdom saving throw? DC 15.
That was a 3. So yeah, Felix is like, we don't need that, but like he's unconsciously like moving towards the rock.
Felix,
and,
I think your hand just kind of, without you even like asking it to, suddenly you're just holding this amethyst crystal. Like it's like it happened without you even realizing, and now you see you're holding it in your hand.
I'm over by the table. Do I see that he has this crystal?
Roll perception.
Perception.
I cannot with this creature.
I'm so scared.
My perception is actually, I forgot which game I was in. 23.
Yes. You see your friend just reach up and pick up the quartz on the table. That's what you see. You see him boop and pick it up.
What you doing, Felix?
Just looking.
Cool.
And he kind of slowly puts the rock back down.
We should
and is like trying to let go of it.
We should probably ask before picking up people's things.
Felix, lie. Lie, Felix, lie.
I asked Baron. I forgot everybody's name for a second. I asked Baron earlier, and he said, just as long as I didn't break it or leave fingerprints on it,
Roll
it'd be fine.
a deception. Roll deception.
God, no.
How you rolling, buddy? How you rolling today? Oh,
Not
pretty good
hot.
this time.
Oh shit, that's a 21.
What does Delaelia say?
Delaelia says, okay. Well, I apologize for questioning you. You don't ever do anything unfair or unkind.
Never been so sad that somebody rolled so high.
I know. I'm so sad right now.
I've been trying to help you for a long time.
And I know. And like, so like Felix is like crosses his arms and just sits and stares at the rock, trying not to take it.
I think at this point, Theia, you're very aware that your friends are in the room, and so you can open your eyes and notice that they're there.
So she's gonna peek open an eye and say, "Oh, hey guys, how was the armory?"
It was
Great.
fine.
Got you a present.
We got you a present.
What? Presents?
Mm-hmm.
Wait till your hair is done.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's looking great.
Thanks. I think I'm supposed to be meditating.
Oh yeah,
So
do that.
I'm gonna.
But just so you know, we got an invite for supper.
Oh, good. I'm starving.
And I look at, oh, it's not Ashcroft. What's his name?
Asher? Actually,
Asher?
Asher's not in
Asher.
the room.
Oh, okay, cool. So I don't look at Asher.
And I think actually Baron comes back though when you say that, Delaelia. Baron struts back into the room.
We're going to my parents' house for supper tonight.
Wonderful. I didn't want you here anyway.
I know that you probably have some business to attend to on your anniversary, so I'm glad that we have an excuse to get out of here.
As am I. Princess,
Yes.
are you ready?
Uh-huh. Is it done?
Not yet. And he goes up to you
Oh.
and fuck it, this is what I'm gonna have him do. He puts his hands, Felix and Delaelia, you can see he puts his hands behind Theia's head, and seems to be casting some kind of spell to generate heat. And he's going to use this spell to blow dry her hair with his hands, because that is his version of a mythical fantasy blow dryer. And so he does like this like air bending. No wait, it's like air bending. He's like air bending her hair. And so like not only is it like it's dancing around, and as it dances, it's like whatever magic he's using Feliks and Delaelia, you see the colors start to like appear like this, and you see as it dances, the hair starts to braid itself. It's like he's using the air to make the braids, and the color is coming out. And Theia, you don't see any of this because you're still not facing the mirror. And Feliks and Delaelia watch this hair dance until finally he, like with a flourish, he throws his hands into the air like he is like he's the maestro. And then he takes a bow, and suddenly Theia is sitting there with her new hair. And
Delaelia very much claps. She's like, "You have outdone yourself, Baron. This is very good."
Can I see it? Can I?
And he turns you around to face the mirror. And Princess Theia, what do you see?
I see a 4 braided plait or plate, however you say it. I don't know. It's a braid. That is like a crown around my head, and it turns into a ponytail in the back. And there is this really pretty sort of sea glassy, tealy color snaking its way up from like it's almost an ombre, sort of streaking its way up from the very tips of my hair so that it has sort of woven itself into the braid. And she looks fierce as fuck.
And he, with another flourish, he removes the cape from around you, and he throws it over his arm, and he says, "You're welcome.
Thank you.
Promise you'll never bother me again."
Wow. Whatever you want.
Good. And he starts to clean up his supplies, and he walks over to clean up all of his tools and whatnot.
Wow. He's just like staring in the mirror, like poking at the braid and like picking up strands of blue hair and like staring at them and going cross-eyed.
Wow. Sparkles, you look great. Look at you.
You just call her Sparkles.
Yeah.
It's time.
Oh my God.
It's time.
Right.
It really does look very adventurous and intelligent.
Thank you guys. People usually just treat my hair like it's, a pain. Nobody has ever done it before.
It is a pain, Baron says from the other room.
Well, you're lucky
Theia doesn't pay attention.
You're lucky that we found one of the best hair designers in the kingdoms.
I don't even care that he's kind of rude.
Yeah.
And it's at that moment that Priya comes back in, and she sees you too, Theia, and she goes, "Oh, Princess Theia, you look so cute."
Thank you.
Are you ready to see the surprise?
Oh my gosh, I'd almost forgotten about that. Yes, please.
And she holds up her finger, and she makes like the come hither motion, like this way. And all of you,
Theia is walking.
all of you are welcome. Like she's kind of being secretive about it, like shh, this way. And she's gesturing for all of you to follow her.
Can Feliks be the last one out?
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Felix takes the crystal.
I hate you.
Damn it.
Playing your
He
character.
rolled low.
Playing your
He
character.
rolled low. I have
Did
to
roll low. Thank you for being true to the game, Rebecca. I appreciate that.
Welcome. Damn it. Stupid sword.
And you guys go back into the condo, and you pass a couple rooms, and you come into what looks to be Priya's private workshop at home, her home office, because you see a little workstation with jewelry that she's working on, and you see a bunch of her work on display on the walls, and it's so girly and cute and dainty, but like fun, not like pretentious dainty. She's definitely very fun in her art. But also on another table, you see sitting on the table is Dashing, and he is wearing a little crown and a little vest. Priya has a little outfit for Dashing. And you see now that you're in her studio, it's not just one. There's like Priya might have a problem. She has like a little mini closet of tiny clothes she's made for animals.
Oh my God, I love her.
She's looking at you like really embarrassed and hoping you're not like so when I'm not making jewelry, I kind of like to make clothes for little animals. I hope that's not too weird. So I thought I would dress up your bunny brother in a cute little outfit.
Marry her, Theia. Marry her now. No.
And Theia is just looking at Dashing and she goes, "Do you feel better?"
And Dashing is sitting there and he looks like he's like a little pouty, but when Priya takes there's a mirror that Priya has too, a small hand mirror, and she presents it to him, and when he sees himself, he kind of puffs out his chest a little bit and lifts up his chin and his ears perk up, and he tilts his head to the side and he says, "I guess it's better than being naked."
And Theia just kind of squeals and looks at Priya and says, "No, it's perfect."
Dashing,
I'm so glad you like
what
it.
do you say to Priya for making you a little outfit?
You're welcome for letting you put me in this outfit.
You're the worst.
Come on, Your
Smooth.
You're
Highness.
literally the worst.
Theia's gonna look at Priya and say, "Thank you so much. I'm sorry my brother is kind of a turd. He's not really used to being not the crown prince."
Oh no,
We're working
it's
on it.
fine. And if he doesn't like this one, and then she holds up another outfit. Kelsey, what is it?
It's a little kilt with a shirt with like flowing sleeves, like an Outlander outfit.
But also wear this one, or even this one, and she holds up a third outfit. Rebecca, what is it?
It's like a little magician's outfit with like a little purple cape with stars and moons on it, and a little top hat with a bow that ties it underneath.
Who's the bunny now?
Oh, that's the best. I love that. So really, he can have whichever one he wants. I just figured that this might you might like this one, Your Highness, because you're a prince.
It's perfect. Thank you, Priya.
I don't want to
Dashing,
wear
say
the
thank
kilt.
you. Don't have to wear the kilt. Just say thank you for the clothes.
Thank you for the clothes.
Would you guys, Priya,
It
would
just
you like to
smiles.
keep Dashing for dinner? We actually have plans, but it seems like you're enjoying him.
I mean, you should probably ask a human being trapped in a bunny if he wants to.
We really need him to not come with us.
Oh God. Yeah, Dashing, do you want to hang out with Priya? He's really chill
They
and
love
nice.
you, and they have carrots here.
Are you guys ditching me?
Yep.
No, we will be back for you, and we will bring news.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
Yep.
Weirdo.
cool. Yeah, you don't want to be around me tonight. I'm getting weirder by the minute.
Yeah. Why are your friends so weird? God.
I'm not going to respond to that. She's just going to look at Priya and say, "Would it be okay if he stayed with you for just a little while longer? I know it's probably a huge inconvenience."
And she just like beams like, "Oh no, it's fine. It's not an inconvenience at all." And she looks at Dashing like, and Dashing's just like, "Ugh."
Thank you so much. I owe you one.
You do.
I wasn't talking to you. But also, thank you, Dashing. Please cooperate and be nice. This will be over soon, I promise.
Just as long as I get some carrots or whatever.
I go out to the main space and I want to find Baron. And is he out there?
Yeah, and actually Asher is out there now too. Asher has entered, and it looks like Asher is carrying some grocery items that he's brought back, like some fish and some vegetables. It looks like Asher has just gotten some ingredients for supper.
Asher, we are heading to my parents' house for the evening meal.
Oh, That makes sense. I had purchased extra just in case you wanted to join us, but enjoy dinner with your parents.
I'm very sorry. May I reimburse you?
No, do not worry.
Speaking of reimbursement, Baron, what do we owe you for the beautiful job you did for Theia's hair?
Remember, I owed you because you helped.
That's right.
And
nope,
then
you are absolutely correct. We don't owe you shit, bro. And I punch him on his shoulder again.
Ah! Delaelia, you know I don't like when you do that. Ugh.
Yeah, there's a lot that you do that I don't like either.
You scuff my shirt.
Can one scuff a shirt?
No, one cannot.
You'll get your oily fingers all over it.
I am oily. Thanks for pointing it out. I have a nice sheen.
I've told you what moisturizers you could use with toner.
Feliks, should we go bathe before dinner?
Oh my gosh, you're right. Like
That's a good thing to do.
He's just gonna look at them and like shake her head vigorously, like, yes, please. It's so good.
Worth it? Okay. Yeah.
Hey.
Go do that, and then we'll go eat. We'll be quick, Theia.
Yeah.
I think it's like 20 silvers a piece, 22 or something like that.
Fun, we got it.
We're used to bathing and paying for it.
Oh, I wasn't that.
Uh-huh.
Have fun.
Turns out like everything costs money. You're gonna be astonished.
I feel like I need to get a job.
Don't worry, there's lots of money to be made out on the road. It's fun.
We just have to start like pillaging more.
And we haven't really done this yet, but adventurers make money by going off on adventures and like slaying beasts and saving people and stuff.
Oh, great. Perfect.
Yeah, how do you think Felix
Yeah, after we save the world, we'll do that. Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna wrap it up for this session. But before we do, Delaelia and Feliks, what do you want to role play a little bit of their bath experience when they go to the bathhouse?
Bath montage.
Montage.
We like scrub each other's backs.
No. No, he's not that comfortable with you.
Ouch, rejected.
First of all, ouch. I'm perfectly comfortable with my body.
It's a personal boundary. He's not.
That's fine. I've just never seen a naked gnome before.
You have to earn it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
true.
have to earn it with Felix. Not a lot of people
don't
have
just-
seen him naked,
Wow. You're a bit of a Ryan, aren't ya?
I guess.
Aww. Feliks, what do you do at the bathhouse? What is Felix's bath experience like? Do you leave your sword or do you take it with you?
He takes it with him, finding it very hard to leave it behind. So he goes to the bathhouse, and for Felix, it's an interesting experience because, well, he is smaller, and so the tubs are just a little higher, and so he's mostly standing while enjoying his bath. It's still very nice though, like just getting all of that dirt and grime and everything off the road, and like elves have very nice smelling soaps, so that faint musk of goat that kind of walks around with him wherever he goes, it's just a little buried under like some nice fresh flower smells now.
Oh my god, is Felix Kristoff from Frozen?
Oh my
Yeah.
It happens when you live with stinky animals. You get the stink. But
Is it the frumpy way he walks? Or whatever, I won't sing that copyrighted, but that's what I'm thinking of.
Wait, before we go in, I ask if you want to take Ramsey with you.
oh,
Does Ramsey want to bathe? He's
Don't
pretty
need a bath.
stinky. He's pretty gross.
he is, but I'm not sure if will they wash a goat?
They washed a bunny.
Yeah, but that's small. You can put that in a sink. A goat is.
Well,
I guess
we can
we'll
ask.
Yeah, we'll ask.
Yeah.
Let's ask.
Well, we don't normally wash goats, but we could have somebody wash him if you would like us to. We will do it not in a bath, but perhaps in one of the rain showers.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Just getting the stink off him, and he would love it, wouldn't you, Ramsey?
Ramsel.
And I bring Lorne with me in mine too.
Want to make Ramsels a thing.
Ramsel.
Ramsels.
Ramsel.
Yeah.
Hashtag Ramsels.
Hashtag Ramsels. He's been Ramsels on Twitter.
Has he?
Yeah. Is there anything else you want for your bath time, Felix? Do you take the sword with you into the bath, or you just leave it like on the sitting next to the bath, or?
He leans it next to the bath, and he's kind of just he's kind of scared to open the sword again because last time it talked, and he's just not sure what to do about that.
You
But-
hear a faint whisper. This soap is so nice. Wouldn't it be nice to have this soap all the time?
You know what? I think we can let the soap go. Do I have to roll wisdom?
I don't think it's trying to make you do anything right now. It's just offering some food for thought.
Some suggestions.
Some suggestions.
But Felix does pull out the crystal from the pouch for a second and look at it before putting it back in. It just kind of sinks in the water, just like, oh, what have I gotten myself into?
Somewhere in the condo, Asher says, "What happened to the crystal?"
Yes.
I know this is what I was afraid of.
Delaelia, what is her bath experience?
So Delaelia gets undressed and drapes her clothes over the chair, and encourages Lauren to get in, and he's a little bit trepidatious, and she's like, no, it's very, very nice in there. You're gonna love it. And she convinces him to get in the water, and he does. And he's like splashing around and skittering along the top of it, and then like diving in, and it's funny and cute. And then Delaelia gets in and just like sits for a second, and then with a splash just like submerges herself and opens her eyes under the water, and just like, you know, when you were covered in water and the way it sounds, like just like thinks for a while she's underwater, just like feeling a little bit trapped. Like she feels a little bit like she got stuck into something, but being in this like vacuum feels really, really good to be able to like, it's the first time she's noticed it, that she feels trapped, but she does. And now she knows, and she gets a little bit anxious, and then she starts washing her hair. She looks at her hand, feels anxious again, and is just like, well, it is what it is. The only way to resolve this is to keep going. And then feels more at peace, and is glad that she had the time to do that, because it's been sort of like niggling at the back of her mind.
Wonderful. And I think after that, all three of you are ready to go to dinner at Delaelia's parents' house. I believe while you guys were getting your baths, Theia and Priya had a montage with Dashing trying on all the various outfits together.
Oh, I just realized I never asked anybody, but it's like, is there any way Felix can heal these like the burns that he got?
Oh, yeah. Like if anybody has a healer's kit, there would probably be some like burn balm in there, or if
Yeah,
Theia,
I have a healer's kit.
I think I
Okay.
have a healing spell.
and you could do that before you go to dinner. Like once you
Yeah.
like because I think by then Theia would have noticed that there were like
I do not.
Little burns.
little burns, little blisters on his face, and she could use magic, or she could use her healer's kit, which would probably have some kind of like ointment in it.
Okay, great.
Sploosh.
Sploosh. All better.
Not sploosh.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Sorry. No, not
I
sploosh.
was
Not
thinking.
sploosh.
I was thinking of
From
the
holes? Yeah,
when it's
not
the
sploosh.
peaches.
Okay, I was thinking of your play.
Yeah, no, sorry. I know it's confusing, but I was thinking of how yummy the peaches are, that like they've like fermented or whatever,
The
and like
onions. They're onions.
Mm.
well, there's
No,
peaches and onions because
Oh, are
they
there
eat
both?
the onions
Yeah.
and when they make it to the top,
Yeah,
but
the
they eat
peaches
the
were in the jar.
peaches in the desert. And peaches and onions were Sam and Kate, and that was
Yeah,
like a symbol
That's
of their
such a
love.
good story. It's so good.
It makes
really
feet
is.
not stink.
And it holds up as a movie, you guys.
Yeah,
no,
I
it's a
watched
great
it
movie.
this year.
That's
It holds
great.
up. Shia LaBeouf in his prime. In his
So do
sweet.
we have to
His
say that
right.
I used one of my healer kits?
You don't have
Or
to.
if you
You can
wanna
use
do-
spell if you
yeah.
prefer.
I mean, I wanna fix Felix.
Yeah.
Fixin'
So-
Felix.
Fix and he's just a bit of a fixer-upper.
Oh my lord.
Do you have a healing spell, Lydia? You could do that and not
I
use
have-
up a healing kit.
My healing hands, it's an action. I can touch a creature and cause it to regain a number of hit points equal to my level.
And that would fully heal him because he only
I'm
took
level
2
3.
points of damage. So
Neat. So let's say she does that.
Yay.
and his burns disappear as if they weren't ever even there. He gets a facial.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
What awaits our heroes at Delelia's house? How will her parents react when Delaelia tells them about her adventures and her quest? And who was that child Feliks helped? Were they even real? So many questions. Maybe we'll get some answers next time on Spellbound. Songs in this episode include Spellbound and Spellbound Part 2 by Vindsvept of Bandcamp.com, Garden Music by Kevin MacLeod of incomptech.filmmusic.io. All other music by Alexander Nakarada of Serpent Sound Studios. All sound effects from zapsplat.com. Until next time.
Dun, dun, dun.